And
Yay. So we are recording in progress. It was so good. And it was so, it was like had this level of like spontaneity. And it was just like two gals having a conversation about, tea and life
what
and how
I
it all
know.
comes together. So I'm excited to be with you, Monica, because, just for the friends that are going to tap this, I don't know where, YouTube or Spotify or wherever they are, to kind of have this opportunity to have a real conversation around health and just being a woman in
I
this day and
agree.
age. And I mean, this obviously this protocol works for men too, but the way that it came to me was very interesting because Monica's been in my life since I was little, and I've just always really loved you and respected you. And you were like this big, like goddess woman in our life. She's very tall, and me and my people are kind of short and furry, and so it's just I always like remembered you. And so when you reached out and were like, I have this great thing, I want to talk to you about it. For sure, I was like, all right, let's talk. Because I've tried so many things to help me manage life, right? And, dieting and fasting and, changing this and changing that and workout protocols and all the things. And I'm just always interested in finding things that are simple, and I think this is when you explained to me what Unicity was about and the protocol itself, the feel good protocol, I was like, oh my God, it sounds so easy. And it felt like I didn't have to uproot my life or change everything, to make it work. And I feel like so much of what we're presented with in this industry is like, it's intense. It's like you got to take this 7 times a day with food or with, and then you got to take this at night and then this during the day. And it's like, half the time when we're connecting, I've got a lot of balls in the air and I need something to fit in and make it very, very simple. And so when you talk to me about insulin resistance, it was like, I think I might have that, but I didn't know what it was. I know that I had gestational diabetes with my second baby, and I know that when I did a lot of fasting, it was on straight juice. And when I lived in Mexico and things, the environment seemed to be better for that. When I came back here and I did that, I would get these like really big headaches. And I just felt like there was something happening with my sugars, like something was wrong. And I have a lot of diabetes in my family of origin and in my heritage. So maybe we'll just start there. If you can talk to me about insulin resistance and what it actually means for people that have no idea what it is, and then we can kind of weave in all of the other stuff as we go. How about
That sounds wonderful. By the way, I'm really honored that you have me here talking to me because you came across my mind so many times because we hadn't talked for so many years. And I kept seeing your posts. I said, I got to reach out to this gal because we're in the same space. But insulin resistance, this was with me. I had no idea. I always assumed it was type 2 diabetes or something.
that?
I did not realize till 4 years ago, a very good friend of mine who was also a fellow coach, I was complaining about not being able to lose weight and I had this extra belly fat. And he said that you must be insulin resistant. I said, what's that? So he
Mhm.
told me, I mean, we are snacking and eating all the time. We're eating processed foods, highly modified foods, and it's really, really hard these days to try to eat healthy. And when we are constantly, snacking, what we've been told in the past to munch all day long for our metabolism, which is totally wrong.
Mhm.
But if we're eating and snacking all the time and then eating 3 meals a day, we constantly have elevated blood sugar. And when that happens, it could take a decade or 2 decades. All of a sudden, we become insulin resistant and even maybe type 2 diabetic. And it affects everything. I mean, with elevated blood sugar, first sign usually is skin tags. It shows up on our skin, psoriasis, those kind of things. And we don't even realize that what's happening in our bodies. We go get it cut off and they just come back. It's not the root cause. So insulin resistance is caused by elevated blood sugar, where you're overloaded with insulin and your pancreas can't get it out where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
And 93% of our population is affected by it. It's not something unique. Most of us have
Well,
So
it's interesting to think that most of us have it. I work with people in yoga classes a lot, and I had some, we had our training this past weekend, and they were asking me what I'm drinking, and I'm like, well, and so we're talking about the protocol a little bit that we'll get into. But some of the just common complaints are just bloating, or I'm already intermittent fasting, I'm already vegetarian, or I already don't eat gluten. Why can't I get rid of this bloating and inflammation? Why do I keep getting migraine headaches? I think also when we first spoke, you talked to me about the impact of insulin resistance and hormones and some of the medicines that you had come off, and now you're seeing with so many of your clients coming off just by regulating blood sugar and having a healthy way to intermittent fast.
Yeah, like I mean, look at women. Well, we already have all these hormonal things going on. All these years we've been put in the same space as men. It's actually not since 1994 that finally women get studied, you know.
Yeah.
But we have some hormonal things going on. We have PCOS. This is related to insulin resistance. And I don't know if you noticed, they just changed the name of it. I'm very thrilled. Has nothing to do with cysts, you
Oh,
know. But so there's PCOS, there's, problems with menstrual hormone. I was on a hormone replacement that cost me $350 every 3 months
mm,
out of pocket because insurance didn't cover it.
hmm.
And that was related to insulin resistance. I've been on it off it now for like 4 years, you
Nice.
know? So we women, we have a lot of hormonal changes and we need help in so many ways so that we don't become insulin resistant.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you speaking to cause, because in my understanding in the yogic arts and in A Course in Miracles, it's so much about if we want true healing, we've got to go to the cause. And healing occurs at the level of cause, true healing. And we tend to focus in our culture on the effects of what is happening, so it's the bloating and the skin tags and going to the doctor and getting medications for these things, or feeling really heavy in our bodies energetically too, because we can't seem to get in front of what's happening. And then we might binge eat or, eat a bunch of ice cream because we feel so bad about our lives. And one of the things that one of our students who's been on the protocol now for like maybe 2 weeks said that her sugar cravings have gone down significantly. And as someone who doesn't really crave sugar, I had the salty bit. I was always wanting to eat like Cheez-Its and like like what, and I'm someone who's been like, super healthy at times in my life. Like almost a whole year, all I ate was fruit, So like there have been times, but it's being in this culture that's moving so fast. I find that it's easy to just grab the things. But what I love about this protocol is it's satiating me in a way that I'm feeling not only full in my belly, but full energetically. Like I'm not feeling like I need to grab things to calm myself down. It's very weird. It's like, how can a tea and a fiber drink do all of that? So maybe let's kind of weave in what the
Okay.
protocol is that we're talking about and how it works at the level of cause.
Okay. Well, this is kind of remarkable. There's two components to this protocol. One is what you're just talking about. We're actually both drinking it. It's this tea.
Cheers.
And I,
It's
yeah,
gonna be like the
and I
new
call
way that we party is chugging our
I know
tea.
that's right. And it's not, I shouldn't really call it a tea because it's really not a tea. It's more of a drink, but it's a tea. You can drink it hot or cold. But this here is really remarkable. It actually comes from South America. People in Argentina, it's their national drink. They've been drinking it for hundreds and hundreds of years. But what this company did is they purified it. They took the best components out of it. And what it does, it helps with getting rid of the food noise. You were talking about salty things. I keep these in my desk because I remind myself of what my snacks used to be.
Oh my gosh.
So I know it's crazy. So I have to remind people because I used to go to the store and I'd literally walk out of the store every time I went to the store and I had this in my hands. I'd be eating it while I was in the car driving
Yeah.
home. Bad, bad. I had cravings. So this here, drinking this twice a day when you're not eating in your fasted state will get rid of the food noise. It also makes it so that you feel satiated. It gives you more energy, mental clarity.
Hmm.
And if you are working out, it's a great workout because it enhances your workout. The biggest thing though about this, and this really, really meant a lot to me. So many people are desperate right now. They're running and getting GLP-1 shots and getting on metformin, Ozempic, all these things. This here is a food. Anybody can use it. It's natural. And what it does, it actually increases your own production of GLP-1. It's already a hormone in our gut
Hmm.
by up to 70%. So
Incredible.
this is going to do everything without side effects, without having to get on these drugs. So that is just the Unimate. It's remarkable. I drink 3 or 4 of these a day.
Yeah, well, me too. And I will say, like, even the first time I had it, as a coffee drinker, as someone who's been drinking coffee since I was like way too young to be drinking coffee, not drinking coffee has been really, was always such a bummer. Like, I associate coffee with like everything. Like it gives me energy. It also relaxes me. It's a community thing. It just, I love coffee. And so I remember that first morning when I had the tea first, and I was just like, huh, oh, this kind of tastes good. And I'm like, whatever. And I was like halfway through my cup and I didn't put it in the bottle. I just put the whole packet in one mug, which,
Oh,
you know, you
it's
want to have
fine, but
probably
still.
double that amount of water, but it really, I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening? Like I wake up a little bit like, it's morning is not my favorite time. But the energy was, and someone also who works with energy, I know when I'm on and I know when I'm not. And
Yeah,
I was on in a way that was like, I was ready to save the world. I was just like, I feel fantastic. And it was really different than coffee energy. It was clearer and I didn't have that quick spike. I feel that maybe it's because I'm so accustomed to the caffeine in coffee that I tend to spike faster. So this as has been a great substitute. I still have probably one cup at least a day. Um, but some days I don't have any coffee, and I find that to be really interesting too. And I like the impact of raising my own, it's GPL-1 levels,
GLP-1.
GLP. See, this is why
That's
Monica's
okay. It's
on the
okay.
line because I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I love that because like women my age, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people in my community that I wouldn't have called them overweight at all, but just you could tell that there was life had happened. A
Mm,
couple kids had happened, maybe a move, they were working, they hadn't been able to spend a lot of time on losing the baby weight or whatever. And I go some time without seeing them, then there's a school event, and I'm like, wow, that person lost a shit ton of weight. Like, everybody gets really skinny. And it's because of this Ozempic business. Women younger than me are doing it. One of my yoga students said she was going to do it. I was like, listen to me. You do this for 90 days. If you don't like it and you get no results, you're going to get your money back. But like sincerely give this a go because as you were sharing, it's in the physician's desk manual, right? Is that what it's
yeah, absolutely. It's in the physician's desk reference. And I should tell you, the studies that have been done on, just before I'd go there though, the chlorogenic acid is what
called?
makes you give that lift.
Yeah.
That's what's in coffee too, but coffee, it gives you that lift and then you have the crash. With this here, this has 10 times more chlorogenic acid than coffee, and there's no crash. It's
Yeah.
quite remarkable. So you're talking about the physician's desk reference. This is the doctor's Bible where they kind of look in and go into before they give you a medication so they can look at interactions. This is in the physician's desk reference as a nutraceutical, not a pharmaceutical.
Hmm.
And we're only in there because we've had the studies. There's like 50 clinical studies on this, studied by, Cleveland Clinic, which is the #1 heart hospital, University of Sydney, Stanford University, UNLV. They're just got so many, and it's HSA and FSA eligible. So it's remarkable.
It really is. And it was so good to have kind of that back end to it because I have a client here who's in the medical industry. And so the physician's desk, like that piece of it, really resonated with her. And I think that nowadays most people, even if you're still really plugged into the allopathic way of treating life, most of us know that the pharmaceuticals have side effects. I mean, we were watching American Idol with my family, and it's like I never watch regular TV or commercials, but because we're watching it live, it's like I can't believe like what they say. Like you could take this for eczema, but you might, you know, get sickness, migraines, you might lose your left big toe, your liver might implode. Like it's just like they're saying all of this stuff, and I'm like, why are we not freaked out about this? in a way that we're not trying to figure out what the cause of the eczema is. We're just trying to take something that's going to cause all of these other problems. And that's the thing with Ozempic and all of those medications that there isn't one medication I know of that doesn't have some kind of side effect to it, at least for
And
some.
it's pages. It's pages. I mean, I watch the news or sometimes TV and you see the commercials. It's like,
Yeah,
this may cause this. I'm going, and nobody asks a question about why should I really be taking this? It's
right,
because of the big pharma, I really I get really frustrated sometimes. It's more about managing symptoms rather than getting to the root cause. And
right,
I think that's where the change needs to be.
right. I agree wholeheartedly. It's like when we can attend to something at the level of cause, we have such a chance then at moving into our desires, like moving into a lifestyle that feels better. Like I know for myself, drinking 5 cups of coffee and then the rest of the day drinking green juice and then, finishing off with a salad just to maintain my body weight and my energy isn't going to work long term. So I have to look at the
Yep.
cause of why am I doing that and how can I structure my days better and support my body so that when I do want to eat, you know, pizza with the kids on Friday night, we can shift into the fiber drink too, have that fiber beforehand and trust that it's not going to set me off for 3 days, and I'm not going to
Yep.
get a big fat headache and, feel really bloated the next day. And then I have this protocol in place, like really feels stabilizing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, if I decide to have a piece of cake at a birthday party, it's not the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? So how does the
Yeah.
fiber work?
Okay, and the fiber is remarkable. By the way, these are just, I call them tools to make it easy because we've all struggled with fasting, maybe because food noise was still there. We felt like we were starving. This eliminates that. The fiber is actually really amazing. This has been around for 30 years. Has had many, many studies. Actually, the Cleveland Clinic did a major study on this to get people off statins. But this here, all you do is mix it with 4 to 6 ounces of water before you eat your meal and it prevents your blood sugar spikes by 43%. And it keeps you satiated. It gets really thick in your stomach and, coats your belly, coats your food, and coats your intestines and everything. And you just can't eat as much. It keeps you satiated. So, and if you are having cake, like you're saying, I remember we always said, oh, I'll start Monday. No, we don't have to diet anymore.
Right.
Diet means deprivation. Just taking this before your biggest meal every day will eliminate the need for having to worry about anything. It blocks the blood spikes and you can still eat the things you like. And what I found is even with me, when I got on this, I didn't start, it got rid of the need for thinking about diets because I've done that my entire life,
Yeah.
always struggling with food.
Yeah.
But it's made it so that I started feeling so good. I made natural changes to live a healthy lifestyle
Hmm.
because I felt so good.
Yeah.
And it's not a weight loss protocol, but if you have weight to lose, that's going to happen automatically. You
Right.
can't stop it. You get
Right.
rid of those inches, belly fat. You turn into how should I say, a fat burning machine rather than a fat storing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You're a fat burning machine. I've totally felt that in my life. Like within the first month, my inflammation was down. I lost 5 pounds. It was like my waist shifted. I felt like my abdominals were stronger. I mean, I'm doing yoga every day, but I was heavy, and I just felt like there was so much effort. And one of the things that I teach so much in my classes is like finding this place between effort and ease, and this just kind of fits in so easily because it's like, you're right. I don't have to be so consumed with, oh my God, I really need to like blah, 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 blah with this, or I shouldn't have that, or it's Tuesday, or I want to do the weekends. Like whatever you are having, just it makes me feel really good to know that I'm supplementing my life with something that's going to keep me somewhat stable. And I don't have to go into my mind stuff around, I'm not doing good enough. It's like, to be honest, there was a couple days where I had left a bunch of I had the tea with me, but I'd left, um, the fiber drink here at the studio. And so like it was dinner and I was like, oh shoot, I don't have a fiber. And it was fine and I ate my meal, whatever. But I was like, it's become a part of my, my
Daily routine.
my daily routine. And I definitely feel like it actually helps in terms of regularity. Talk to me about what's different about this fiber drink? What's in it specifically, and why do we need it? Like I've had someone recently say to me, she's starting the protocol and she said, well, I don't need a lot of fiber right now because I'm eating a lot of fruit. So I'm gonna wait until, she had a bunch of mangoes that were ripening. And she said, when those are done, I'm gonna dive into the fiber drink. And I thought, I don't know, can you get too much fiber and what will happen? Anyway, just talk to us a little bit
No,
about,
this is great. It sounds like my daughter. She goes, "Oh, I eat all the fiber I need."
yeah,
But she's made some changes there too. But this is a very unique fiber. This is not like a Benefiber or Metamucil that a lot of people are used to. I mean, you can go to the store and there's like 50 different fibers, and what you pick is probably the cheapest one on the shelf
yeah.
because it's just a fiber and it really helps you keep regular. Probably that's what most people buy it for. This fiber has 7 fibers in them. 4 of them are patented. And this is the whole spectrum, both soluble and insoluble. So you're getting all different fibers that your microbiome needs to feed. We have all these little, they call them little bugs running around our belly that need to be fed, and they don't need sugar. That's not what they need. They need these kind of fibers. I mean, if you were to try to eat as much fiber as in these packets, you'd probably have to eat a wheelbarrow full of vegetables and
Wow.
stuff. And you can't get that. And all the fiber in our diets are removed. I mean, the food industry makes everything so it tastes good. They take the fiber out. And that's why we're metabolically unhealthy.
Hmm.
Everything we're getting is sugar, sugar, sugar.
Hmm.
We need fiber. And whoever you believe your creator is, everything in nature was perfectly made.
Hmm.
You know, an apple is surrounded by fiber and that has the sugar in the middle. But if you eat that combined, you're getting everything you need. Where if you take the sugar or the fiber out of it and make like apple juice or orange juice, you've taken the fiber away, you're drinking pure sugar.
Hmm.
And people don't realize it. It's like sitting down. I had this doctor give a great analogy. He's like sitting down, would you take 12 tablespoons of sugar, put in a glass of water and drink it? That's basically what people are doing when they drink orange juice or apple juice. It's
This,
sugar.
this is a hard one for me because I am a very enthusiastic juicer and I have been, I mean, since I was in my 20s and now I'm mid 40s. So like this is 20 years I've been in this relationship with juice and I'm backing off significantly. We always did non-pasteurized. I always made my own juice. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the age I am, it was feeling like it just wasn't correct anymore for me to be having that much juice. And I also thought maybe not for this recording, but I thought, what if I drank my fiber and then drank my juice? Or is that just
Well,
like
that would make it better.
it
That
would
would
make
make it
it?
absolutely better because now you've got the fiber you need.
But then
Because
I'm like,
when
well,
we
why am I
juice,
taking all of the fiber out of it? But for example, in a green juice, I could never eat that much kale and spinach and all of that stuff. Like that's why I always love to juice because in terms of my digestion, I felt like I wasn't putting any burden on my digestion to work so hard because I was trying to clean up other things. Namely, I had, was dealing with breast cancer. And so there was just so much research out there on juicing as a way to clean up the body. And you mentioned the bugs too with the parasites. This is serious business. I've done a lot of cleaning up. I mean, a lot of stuff I've seen come out of this body over here. And I'm only
me
5'2".
too.
So it's like,
I know.
the whole story. It's like, this can be a little bit alarming, when you embark on the journey to heal yourself and to get healthy from the inside out, looking at the cause to attend to inflammation, which is one of the biggest issues all of us have. I mean, even my fingers are like deflating the longer I'm on this thing. It's very interesting. And honestly, I think I mentioned to you a few weeks ago, I'm still having bread and cheese now and then, like, which I didn't
So
eat
am
for years.
I. Yeah.
But it's like, oh my God, I just love that I found this way to kind of create this balancing act. But yeah, the juice thing has been hard for me because I really I got some good results from it, but it did kind of maybe hit its peak.
Well, I
And
did too. My sister bought me a juicer years ago, and I used to juice fast.
yeah, me
But
too.
you know what? We threw away best part. I used to give my chickens, I had a farm. I used to give my chickens the fiber. I
Yeah.
needed that fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of learning. It's just like I was taught when I went to school to learn about nutrition and wellness. I was taught that you're supposed to, eat 3 meals a day. Breakfast was the most important meal a day, and snack in between for metabolism. I it was wrong. And I feel really bad now that I taught so many people to do that because that's elevating our blood sugar. And look what our generations are coming into now.
Yeah.
I read in the New York Post that there's a 700% increase in millennials with type 2 diabetes.
Wow.
That's
That's
huge.
crazy. Well, in a way, you're kind of putting in the correction now. Fasting, I think, is on this protocol. We do practice intermittent fasting. So it's
Yes.
it's about 16 hours, right?
Yeah, 12 to 16. Yep.
12 to 16. I like to push it. Sometimes I go 16, 18, and really condense the time when my body has to deal with digestion. But the idea of fasting is it's so enlightening, actually. It's like if you think about it, waking up and eating bacon and eggs, and then going on with your day, it makes you tired. I think my kids naturally, it's interesting, like, and I've had a couple moms, say things like, well, talking in the whatever at the soccer game, what do you feed your kids for breakfast? I'm like, honestly, my kids don't eat breakfast. And I send them out into the world, and I sometimes feel really bad about that because I have that whole like Lebanese mom thing, like I have to feed all of the people all of the time. But like
Yeah.
they naturally just aren't, they don't want to eat yet, they drink water. Sometimes my daughter's been drinking the low caffeine, one of
Mhm.
these. She loves it. She has one a day at least. Um, and Adam really liked the chocolate and mint one. They liked
Oh
it
yeah,
cold
it's
on
good.
ice.
Yeah.
So good. But they fast, they've always kind of been like that. And then they have lunch and dinner and maybe a snack after school. But we don't need to be eating all of the time. It's
No,
crazy.
our body
They've
needs a break.
convinced us.
I know. It's the food industry that did that. When Kellogg's and all those cereals came out, they wanted to sell their product and they basically advertised on TV, this is the most important meal a day. And guess what? We bought into it. I mean, if you look back, you're younger than me, but if I look back at my parents and stuff, I remember growing up and we had chores to do in the morning. We didn't come in to eat something till 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And your kids, they still listen to their bodies. They eat when they're hungry
Yeah.
and they're not even eating breakfast in the morning. And we start thinking, we have to, oh, it's breakfast, we have to eat. Now it's lunch, we have to eat. Our bodies actually need that time to fast, to go into what's called autophagy, where it can heal all its cells and
Mhm.
not focus on digestion, but focus on healing. So
Yeah.
it's really, really important. And the unamate, this just makes it really easy because it gets rid of the food noise. So I know I had struggled with fasting earlier on in my life. This made it easy. I don't even think about it. So
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
It is wonderful. And it does make it simple because, fasting can always, and I know when I first started, it always felt like some kind of sacrifice. Like it was hard,
Yeah.
like that I had to do this for my health. It was like all kind of strange thinking, but um,
Oops, we froze.
it does make it really simple. And it feels like a treat. Like the tea tastes delicious. And yeah, and it gives you energy. And then it's like, oh, wow, it's already 3 o'clock. I guess I can eat something, like let's go do it. Um, it's like I forgot. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was so in the flow. Um, so cool. What else do we want to talk about? We've got kind of the protocols or anything else that we want to share with these people that are listening?
Well, yeah, I mean, we do open to the public science calls with medical professionals that are finally also working on this because they can finally help people. We have a slew of medical professionals coming on, and every Tuesday we do a live science Zoom call. Sometimes we have 300, sometimes we have 700 people on it with doctors talking about what insulin resistance is, educating people
Hmm.
and letting them know that there is a natural solution that anybody can use. This is food. This is not a pharmaceutical. Anybody can use it. There's no side effects. When you get on the fiber at first, you may feel a difference because we're not used to this much fiber in the beginning.
Hmm.
So that's a temporary thing. That means it's working for you. And you mentioned something really key about inflammation, about your fingers, different things. The Unamate is an anti-inflammatory. So when we get sick, inflammation is what causes illnesses in our bodies. So if we can lower the inflammation, we're going to feel better anyways, and we're going to heal.
Hmm.
This is just giving your body the tools it needs to heal itself. Our bodies are miraculous. They were given to us in a way they are just amazing how fast we can heal ourselves if we have the right tools
Yeah.
and putting the right things in our bodies. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's wonderful.
I think, just again, kind of reiterating the simplicity of it, that
Yeah,
it's something that anyone can do. It's very simple and it supports your body in ways that it really needs to be supported, just giving it some clean energy and some ways to kind of like, get off some of these foods that are just like not, I don't even, they're not even food,
no, there is not. There's our foods are no longer food. If you go through the aisles in the grocery stores, most of it's not food. I mean, you have to find a health section in the store. That's wrong. It should be the
Not
whole
weird.
store,
That is
you
so
know.
crazy. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited that we finally did this and pressed record just for you guys. Like we
Yes,
did this about a few weeks ago and had this amazing conversation and we're like, oops. I was like, I'm so sorry. I forgot to press record. But I'm excited to share this with my community and my growing community. And I think that some of the yoga girls are getting on it now this weekend. They ordered it and it's a slow start for me business wise. Monica, when you came to me, you were like, this can be a business opportunity too. So maybe we just talk about that real brief. But I was like, oh my gosh, I have so many moving parts. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm just going to keep it really simple. And it's like everything else that I do in my life. Like I practice what I preach, like you teach what
exactly.
you practice and practice what you teach. And that's all this is like, hey, this is really simple. And I've done all the hard things. It's like,
Yeah. And the company supports you. You know what they do? They actually give us a 90-day money back guarantee, which
hmm
is remarkable.
hmm
And we have this incredible fasting app now that actually does body scans, and you can just scan your food, and it tells you exactly how much protein, carbs, and good fats you're getting. This is amazing. So I use this app all the time, and it helps keep you on track. But the 90-day money back guarantee was really important to me because I've done so many things, and it makes it really risk-free to try it out. You've got nothing to lose, everything to gain.
hmm
And because you have now incorporated this into your life and as a business, you have a discount link that you can share with people that allows them to get a lifetime manufacturer discount,
hmm
which is really amazing, and the money back guarantee.
hmm
So it's it's just a beautiful thing. We need more voices.
hmm
We need more people out there talking about it to educate the world, the audience out there, because people are struggling and they need alternatives that aren't drug related.
hmm
That's my mission too.
Yeah. I think it's an important mission, right? Because
Mhm.
if you have something, it's even one of the yoga principles of not hoarding, It's like you have something really great. You kind of have a responsibility then to let people know about it. Now, whether they do it or not is absolutely their
It's up
choice.
to them. Yep.
But just, to create relationships and to let people know the things that are working for you. Because if it's working for you, it very likely can work for somebody else. And that's what happened. Like you reached out and you were like, hey, this might work for you. And I was like, well, okay, I'll try it. Yerba mate. I love yerba mate. I used to drink yerba mate in Mexico. And I remember all those South American, like gorgeous women with their big boobies. And they would be like, with their cups, they have these like special cups with these straws. Like that's like the
That's
cool way of drinking it. Um, and then, when I got the packets, initially I was like, I don't know, packets? Like, and I know that this is like the way that we get, this type of stuff, like liquid IVs are in the packet. Like there's like green things in the packet. It's all these packets. But I like that it's a concentrated version and it's specific and it's organized in a way that your body can actually integrate what's in there. I love the science behind it, even though I don't understand all of it quite yet. Um, I love the calls that I have been on have been really
yeah.
informative, and the people like the doctors that are talking about it are just like kind of revolutionaries. Like they're kind of badasses. They're saying the things that I think we need more healthcare professionals to actually say out loud to other humans to help wake people up to this idea that like there are alternatives. Like if you could drink this or put a shot in your body, like
Mhm.
I don't know, I would just think, wouldn't you want to, and it tastes delicious. Like, wouldn't you want to try that first? Do you know?
Before
And
you go on yeah, something
uh,
that gives you like a 30 or 40 side effects, you
You
know?
know, I mean, why take your chances when there's an alternative? And so I think that's what really spoke to me too. And I'm glad we had an opportunity to get together and talk about this. And I'll put some links in the show notes and links to Monica. Monica's TikTok channel, like Monica's like a big deal in this
I'm
whole
not
company.
really, I
And
just
she is,
educate a lot.
she is. And she's got all the TikTok people and she does all of the cool videos. And um, so I'll make sure that everybody can connect with both of us. And I just think it's really cool. And I'm grateful that you tapped me because that's what it felt like. It was like, hey, you, lady.
Yeah, because you're already in the space. It's just another way to help people more. Like, and one more thing I wanted to mention here. Everybody should read this book by Dr. Ben Bickman. It's Why We Get Sick. He is one of the most well-known metabolic scientists in the world. And he's actually the one that did a study on the Unamate.
Mhm.
When he, because of what he found out from this protocol, he joined the advisory board. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So he's a big voice. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him everywhere. He's like out there teaching people.
Why We Get Sick.
Yep.
Is
It's
that
called Why We Get Sick by Ben Bickman.
Yeah. Like,
So, there you go. Is that good?
yeah, we'll put a link to
Okay.
that too in the show notes. And I just think this could be really the beginning of, taking a step in the direction that people want to go. I think a lot of times there's this feeling of like, oh, it's just too hard. And I know I felt like that. Like maybe this is just the way my body's going to be. I'm 46 now, but it didn't have to be. And I think it's just like that little bit of willingness to try something, to be courageous, to be brave, and know that if it doesn't work for you for some reason or you whatever, you can get your money back, but just that you can try something that's simple that actually has really huge benefits. Um, and it's just so easy. I can't say that enough. It's delicious. Just
And
becomes
we
like
get
part
we
of your
we
life.
get convinced that this is normal aging, that we start having all these problems, and it's really not. That is not normal aging. Actually, just so you know, we've got over 1 million people in the last 4 years when this Feel Great system was introduced that have clinical studies of results of reversing things like type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, and all the things associated with. And that's powerful. That's why I have now made this a mission in my life. I mean, I'm at the airport and I see people walking around. I go, this person could use this person could use this because it's really 93% is a big number. I was one
Yeah.
of those,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, me
So
too. And I was really sincerely trying to make some changes and willing to, do back bends and put my feet behind my head to like, but you can't
literally,
exercise literally, you can't exercise your way into an enlightenment. And I think that it's the same thing. You can't treat the effects and the symptoms of what we're dealing with and expect to really get to where you want to go. We've got to kind of get back to the basics. And you're right that it is interesting walking through an airport and seeing, what's happening to Americans, especially these days, um, as it relates to just their bodies. And if you're not feeling good in your body, you're kind of not that nice.
no, that's right. We get grumpy.
Grumpy
We're sad, depressed.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
vibrational thing too. And so I like that it does make me feel good and it helps me to be more in my natural state. Because I think that generally most of us want to be happy. Like that's the yogic prayer. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And that can apply to anything. Let us
Yeah.
be happy in our bodies, in our communities, in our work, in our families. Let us be free in our bodies, in our work, in our communities. It works all the way around. But um, I'm glad to have this little thing also. It's this little big thing to share with this community that I'm growing here and online. So if you're interested, check it out. We'll put all the links in the show notes. And if you have health related, sciencey questions, ask Monica. Or go to the
I feel
science class
honored.
on
I
Tuesday
feel
night. Don't
honored.
call me because I don't know. All I know is that it works and it's simple and I like it. And, that's all.
Well, thank you for having me here today. And I feel honored that you invited me. It's a
Thank you.
privilege.
Thank you, Monica. You're so sweet. I'm so grateful. All right. I'm going to stay on for just one second. I'm going to stop it here.